Hey, how's it going, guys? My name is Thomas Morosco, and we're going to take the next few minutes talking about dials, okay? How to live dial. The two most important things that you need to know about dialing is one, making sure you have enough leads, okay? And then two is protecting your dial time. So when we have our dial days, we should have a day set in front of us. I particularly recommend being on your computer, not being up, but being on your computer, on your phones by 7:30 at least, minimum in the morning. Start your day off right. Obviously, whatever you got to do, meditate, you got to work out, whatever you do that all before 7:30. We should be starting at 7:30. Next thing you should have definitely is a dial tracker. Make sure you have a dial tracker in front of you. Track what you're doing as far as your dials. Track how many dials you're making, how many appointments you're setting, how many people you're speaking with. This is all important in the essence of making calls out, because it'll allow us to figure out what our ratios are of how much we're actually selling, where do we need to improve, all of that. Typically, minimum leads, we should have at least 100 leads minimum, if not more, a dial day. Okay, so if we're doing a full dial day, if unless you're doing part-time, but if you're doing a full dial day, at least 100 leads that you're calling. And the way we're going to call them is each person, we're going to triple dial them. Okay, that's going to be your morning session. Your second session of the day will maybe come into your evening. You're going to triple dial them again, the same leads, right? We're going to go through 100, dial them in the first session. Your second session, go through 100. But that at that point, you'll already have figured out that there's maybe some bad numbers in there. There may be some people that are not interested, didn't want appointments. You can scratch those off the first session. The second session becomes a little bit shorter because you did all that already. So maybe out of the first bunch, you called 100 people, and let's just say you had 10 bad numbers and 10 people that didn't want the coverage, right? So when you get to your second session, because you had that batch of 100 leads, now you have 80 leads to kind of dial at that point. And then when you get to your third session, right, we do the same thing, and we're usually calling them in the evening, later on in the day. Most people are home. Most people are out from work and everything like that. So we might get a little bit of a little bit better call ratio to answer ratio on that part. Okay. The next thing we want to talk about is objections. Typically, from our clients, there's really maybe 4 to 5 objections that you're going to kind of get. All of these clients, they all come with the same things, typically when they don't want to speak with us. So it's important to kind of learn how to kind of overcome those kind of things. So the 4 common objections that you're going to typically get from our clients when you're speaking with them as soon as you answer the phone is 1, I'm not interested, right? 2, I don't remember filling that out. 3, I already got that taken care of. And then 4 is I'm busy right now. Typically, those are the 4 common objections that we kind of get from our sales clients as soon as we introduce ourselves. Within those first 5 to 7 seconds, that's what they're going to tell us, right? When somebody tells me that they're not interested, it's very quick, very simple. I tell them, I was like, oh, I completely understand. You're not interested because you're not sure if you qualify, or because you felt like it was too much for you. The next thing for our agents is you want to make sure that you are on a some kind of Zoom or in an office, physical office, or on a Zoom call with our team office that we have. Make sure you unmute yourself. Make sure so that everybody, even the top agents, are on the Zoom calls. They can help perfect your craft for what you need. I mean, if you're saying something wrong and you keep getting the common objections and you can't overcome those things, well, there's tons of agents here who can help you with that and overcome those objections and give you those tools and scripts that you need to overcome those things. Scripts, guys. Scripts are super important to learn. They're very helpful. Everybody has a different script as far as how to sell insurance or how to even set up an appointment for a client. Personally, what I would recommend is listen to a bunch of different people, the way they talk, their tonality, and really make it your own. Make it to your personality. There's no one specific script. I don't like to say script because it sounds like you're reading off of something, but essentially you want to just have a guideline of how to speak with somebody. I'm introducing myself. This is why I'm here. I'm getting back to you, right? And then you want to go ahead and set the appointment from there. I was like, my job is just this. Okay, so typically when somebody calls me, here's how it sounds. I go ring ring. Hey Art. Hey Art, this is Thomas. I'm just a state underwriter out here in Maricopa County. I'm actually just following back up with you on a request on here. It says your birthday is 3/19/1989, right? Is that correct? Yes. Perfect. Hey Art, I'm just making sure that I get this information out to you. I was the one assigned to your case. All right. They actually have me being out there or having doing phone appointments within the next 2 days. I do have tomorrow available. Would you prefer a morning or afternoon? Okay. And so you would go something like that for your script. Dial time. So as we're getting to our dials and we're setting up appointments, just know this. It's important to kind of reverse engineer how many appointments you have. It all depends on what you want. That's why it's important to have a dial tracker in front of you guys. The more appointments you set, typically, the more you'll sell, obviously. But you want to know your ratios. Typically, if you set about 25 appointments, let's say a week, that's about average for our agents if they're working full time, 25 to 30 appointments. Know that off the back, most likely 50% are going to fall off. They're not going to show up to the appointment, even though you set it up with them. They will not. Maybe they have an excuse. They want to reschedule, whatever that is. Know that typically about 50% of your appointments. So what do you want to do? If you're only selling out of 25 to 30 appointments, you're only selling, let's say you sold 2 out of the 25 to 30 appointments. Well, we know then, right, your ratio is kind of low. We want to always double up that action. As you get better at selling, you'll find out that the more appointments you set, the more you will sell. What that looks like is on Monday, I would come in, I would have my batch of 100 leads to more, maybe more. I would work those leads very hard to call everybody and set at least 12 to 15 appointments for the next 2 days, which would be Tuesday and Wednesday. Okay. I would run those appointments Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And then from there, Thursday would be my next dial day. And I would run appointments to schedule them for Friday and Saturday. So I have a good structure of how my week is going to look. Right? Obviously, there's some sacrifice if you're working on a weekend or something like that. Way of scheduling our day. I mean, we typically come from the workforce, right? We work Monday to Friday. It's the same thing. We're just kind of setting those stages for ourselves. Okay. As you guys are dialing, limit your distractions. You guys have Instagram. You guys have all these texts coming in, things like that. Try to put your phone away. Or if you guys are using like a power dial or something like that, use just that and then protect your dial time. Try not to have, if you're working from home, your kids running around or, lock yourself in the room for a while and do what you got to do, right? Protect your dial time because it's very easy to get distracted. Good pace for you guys to keep in mind is about 45 dials an hour. That means 45 people, right? 45 people an hour. It's dialing them 3 times. It's very easy to dial 3 times if you're on a phone. Dial, and that's it. You click, and you're dialing 3 times. That takes you less than 45 seconds. You don't want to come off as a sales rep. You don't want to. You just don't want to give that vibe, right? That's typical what we want to do. Typically, what we want to do. So what I would say is when I usually call a person, I never really call them by their last name. I don't go Mrs. Alvarez, Mrs. Forrest, or Mr. Morosco. I don't say that kind of stuff. For me personally, it comes off too like salesy a little bit. I know it's very formal, but remember, we are here to help them as a friend, to help their family. So if I call somebody, I'm going, hey Art, this is Thomas. This is Thomas from your state underwriter out of Arizona, out of Maricopa County. Just getting back to you, man, on this request. It was kind of submitted over here on my desk this morning. I'm not lying about anything, who I am or what I do. I am assigned to their case. I purchased that lead, right? I don't know if maybe it wasn't updated properly. I just tell them that. I'm very super honest with my clients. So I tell them that, hey, Art, this is Thomas. I speak with my first name. I call him by his first name like we're friends and we've known each other forever. Okay. And then secondly is after I ask them, I was like, hey, I'm just getting back to you. Right? Just like a doctor in a doctor's office or dental office. If we had called them or we submitted information to them, we would expect a call back from them. And it's the same thing with these people. right? If they submit information, I have all their information. They should be expecting a call. Now, if they don't expect me, it doesn't really matter. As my job is, I'm doing my job by just getting back to somebody, right? The thing is, we got to understand is with these leads, we have to understand that we are doing the client a favor. They are not doing us a favor. We have their information because somebody put down their information. And if they didn't do it, then it was maybe a family member that did it. But if we have their phone number, if we have their address, we have their email or their birth date, and we confirm that with the client, right? Then obviously it must be somebody put in that information for a reason. Please, don't fall too far away from the script when you guys are dialing. You don't want to get too ahead of yourself, talking, and the client's not even listening when they're going to hang up, right? Keep it very simple. All you guys have to do is just focus on dialing. The first 5 to 7 seconds, you guys are going to know what kind of clients you have. Okay, they will tell you. All right, and we don't, we're not going to save everybody. This is just to be honest. If you guys listen to these calls of agents all over, they may have gotten cussed out. They may have gotten yelled at from clients. I'm just being honest with you. But at the same time, you will run across people who are like, oh yes, I remember filling that out. Oh yes, I was like, what was this for again? I never got that taken care of. Perfect. That's why I'm here. Right. I'm looking for those in-betweener people who are just looking for some information on it. Doesn't have to be a sale right away. If they're curious about the information, we want to make sure we get it to them. Nowadays, don't be afraid to call your clients 3 times in a row. I know it sounds annoying, but remember, we're about protecting their family. They ask for information. Sometimes it's just older people, they can't get to the phone in time. Maybe they're at work, kind of in a meeting or moving somewhere. They don't hear it. Well, very good, right? And to be honest with you, I rather go through my list and speak to somebody that tells me no, rather than go through my list and speak to someone who I called once but they didn't answer, right? And then I got to call them later on again to see if they will answer, right? Or even see if it's a wrong number, whatever that is. But I'd rather call them 3 times and get somebody tell me go F off somewhere than to have them, I'm having to consistently call them and call them and call them. I was like, if they just tell me once, like, I don't want it, I'm like, okay, that's perfect. I'm not here to see if you want it. I'm here to just get you the information. But if you honestly don't want to talk to me, then that's on you. That's their family, not ours. We're here to help the families who want the help. You getting better, guys, is to record yourself. Record how you sound when you're speaking with the client. You'll notice a lot of different things like your tone, even just your posture when you guys call somebody. That makes a difference in the way you speak. If we're kind of hunched back a little bit, we don't have our chin up because we got to know that we're the ones taking care of the client. That helps a lot, guys. So record yourself, listen, but also look at how your posture is, how you guys want to speak with the client. Would you speak like this to somebody like your family member, or you speak like this? You speak down, right? All that stuff kind of matters too. Once you reach 100 appointments that you actually ran, okay, so that means you sat down with the client, you called the client, you set an appointment, they showed up to the appointment, and you went through the financial inventory sheet with them. Okay, financial inventory sheet you guys can find on the links here. Once you go through 100 appointments at least, minimum, you will most likely be the best expert in this company, right? Because after you run your first 100 appointments, you will understand that most clients are the same that we speak to. They just have different names, right? I mean, most people, hey, they will be on high blood pressure, and you're gonna even know the medications by then. They will maybe have diabetes. You'll know the medications by then. You'll know if they have cancer and where to go, which carrier to go to, right? So you get to become an expert after your first 100. So if you can get through those as fast as you can get through those in about a month. To be honest with you, if you're going full time right away, guys, 30 appointments a month, or I'm sorry, 30 appointments a week, you'll get through that in about a month, and you'll start to figure a lot of things out. So just understand that the standard a full-time agent is running about minimum about 25 to 30 appointments a week. If you're part-time, I'd probably expect you to run half of that, 12 to 15 appointments a week, right? So make your expectations what you want in this business. Obviously, most people are coming here full-time. Part-time. So understand that, don't expect yourself to be coming out the gates and writing certain things that other people are writing, especially if this is your first time in this industry, right? You have to build up your knowledge just like you would in anything. When you speak with a client, I really do my best to make sure that they understand that I am very busy. People like busy people. It is what it is. Clients like when you're busy because they're busy. But as long as I can encourage them and make them understand that, hey, I'm also busy as well, that I don't have much time right now. But I can squeeze you in tomorrow between 4 and 5. Does that work best for you, or do I need to reschedule because my day is booked up from there? You see how that response would come off a little bit better for a client, and they are like, yes, I want to get in there, so let me make sure I can make that work for you, right? And if it doesn't work for you, that's totally fine. I'm already booked with somebody else there. Let's go to the next day. So it's really important that even when you're setting appointments, guys, we're setting appointments. If I'm setting an appointment with a client, I'm typically saying, hey, John, hey, I'm sorry, you're at work. I'm at work as well. I'm actually headed to an appointment. But this came across my desk this morning. I actually need to get this information out to you. I was assigned to your case, John. Let me go ahead and set you up. I have some openings tomorrow morning or tomorrow evening. What would you prefer? Boom, boom. And I'm setting that appointment really quick because they think I'm busy. And I make them seem like I want to get off the phone. I don't want to give them a call, but I'm just doing my job. But I'll have more time tomorrow because I'll put you in an appointment. Does that make sense, guys? Last thing, guys, is I would say the biggest thing sometimes, because it gets a little tedious, is to make this event, like this phone dialing session that you guys have, make it fun. Have a little competition either with yourself or a friend in the company, your upline, whatever it is. Like, have fun with it. I remember my upline once told me, he's like, I used to have games with myself where it wasn't about how many appointments I set. He said, if I could get this many, like 50 no's, just no's out of the day, the perspective changed for him. So now he was looking for the no's, right? It's all perspective how we think about it, but I would play games with myself in that sense of saying, hey, instead of going for as many appointments as I can book, why don't I go for how many phone numbers were wrong? If I got 20 phone numbers wrong, I could take a break, right? Challenge yourself in those situations, right? But make it fun. I mean, have fun with these clients, right? You could tell them anything. There's no specific script. That's why I said there's no specific script you can say. Obviously, we want you to have a guideline of doing it right, but there's no script for it, guys. So you want to have fun with it. Have fun in talking with your clients. But hey, John, man, I just came back from a run, and I apologize. I'm so out of breath right now. I feel like I'm so out of shape. I haven't worked out in years and stuff like that. Tell it to your client. They may relate to it somehow. Whatever is relatable to your client, and just have fun with it. Once you have a conversation, it's like talking to family members at the end of the day, right? So don't get too high, don't get too low. Best advice I can give you is just focus on the activity, guys. Activity will solve all your guys' problems. You guys have the structure now to make your dials from your leads. I hope you guys go out there and kill it. You guys are destined for greatness, and I will see you guys at the top. Peace.